wish that people knew the value of relationships and how to actually make genuine connections. I think is kind of lacking in Sint Maarten.
Welcome, Bianca, from the vibrant shores of Sint Maarten.
When I was 17, I decided I wanted to move to New York and pursue a professional career in dance. Since then, I've been in Jimmy Fallon, in music videos, movies, on tour with Chris Brown, Sean Paul, Afrobeat.
But at the turn of the decade, she flipped the script, trading choreography for turntables.
I'm not scared to pitch certain rates, whereas before, you need to be like that DJ to be able to do that. There's girls that are working like 5-6 gigs in a weekend, and I'm like, there's so much money in the industry. Like, if people see a value and they want you, like, they will pay your price.
She's the official DJ for Latin music icon Karol G.
Only thing I would say though is I'm no longer Karol G's DJ.
People, welcome to the SunSide Kingdom Show. Welcome.
Period. I was like, come on, intro.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Or did I get something not correct on here?
No. I mean, okay, well, only thing I would say though is I'm no longer Karol G's DJ, but that's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
We're moving on to other things.
Moving on to other things. No problemo. Well, we didn't get our updaters yet, so here it's a premiere.
Yeah, in case anybody didn't know.
So welcome. So do I refer to you as BB Bad or Bianca?
Whatever feels comfortable.
Okay. In this space, I'll go with Bianca.
Okay, I like that.
And every now and then we'll probably drop into BB Bad. So Bianca, tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Bianca Dijkhoffz, aka BB Bad, in 2025?
Who is Bianca in 2025? I am, like you said, a multifaceted artist. Everything about me is an artist. I can't help it. The way that I view life, the things that I love to do, the way that I express myself, I'm just an artist. And yeah, trying to find myself in the things that I love. And so now I'm in the Netherlands, in search of inspiration and creativity to just continue to add to what I do.
Awesome. So for those that are watching that might not have heard of
you
BB
like
Bad,
that was very broad.
let's maybe tap into some of the big highlights and achievements in the past couple of years.
Okay, yeah. So born and raised in Sint Maarten. When I was 17, I decided I wanted to move to New York and pursue a professional career in dance. And since then, I've been in music videos, movies, on tour with Chris Brown, Sean Paul, Afrobeat. Been in 2 international movies, been on TV a couple of times on Jimmy Fallon.
You performed on Jimmy Fallon as well?
Yeah.
At the dancing for who exactly?
I was on Jimmy Fallon 3 times. So the first time was with Lil Baby and Yo Gotti.
Okay.
The second time was with Malik Berry and another Afrobeats artist. And then the third time was with Skip Marley and her.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Like when artists go to like premiere their new songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that.
So they had a collab?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do, yeah. So been in that dance space since I was like 5 years old. And it was not initially what I even wanted to do with my life, but eventually, life just takes its course. And I ended up, in New York for like 6 years. The pandemic hit. I went back home and I literally thought my life was over because I'm like, how am I supposed to pursue my art on that level when essentially the entire world is shut down. But through that, huge blessing. I learned to DJ, and then like I told you, I always wanted to move to LA, and in 2022, I moved to LA,
Mm-hmm.
and 5 months later, I was DJing for Karol G.
Wow. And it, in 2022. So after learning to DJ in 2020, 2 years later, you're DJing for Karol G, one
Yeah.
of the biggest reggaeton artists of modern times.
Yep.
So how did that happen?
Honestly, right time, right place kind of situation. I was DJing at this party, and my friend used to be on tour with J Balvin, so she invited some of the crew to come through. And ironically, some of his people used to work. Some of Carol's people used to work for J Balvin back in the day. And then a month after I met this guy, we exchanged contacts. And LA is good for that. Like, you just never know who you might meet. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's in the industry some way, somehow.
Yeah.
And a month later, he hit me on Instagram and he was like, hey, Karol G's team is looking for a DJ. Let me know if you want me to recommend you. I feel like you'll be perfect for this job. And I was like, it can't be that easy. Like, and I didn't really even know who she was like that. I knew some of
Yeah,
her songs,
yeah,
but I didn't
yeah.
know like how massive she was, you know? But then like a couple of days later, they got in contact with me, and then I don't even think it was like a week later that I was in rehearsals with her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how long you spent on tour with
Tour
her?
with her. Like a year and a half.
Oh wow.
So when I first joined, it was like spot dates, and we were like going around South America and some places in the US. And then closer to the end of that year, 2023, we went on the US tour. Top of 2024, we went on the Latin tour. Yeah, and
So 18 months. Okay. So from learning to DJ in Sint Maarten to spending 18 months with one of the biggest artists in the world, what differences were there in
I mean, you know, to work for a A-list artist is intense. Is a lot of hard work that maybe people might not even know, you know, like especially when I post, like, you know, everything looks very fun, but you know, at that level, like mistakes are not a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like
Non-acceptable.
not acceptable.
Yeah.
You know?
So could you give me any example of a particular situation that
Yeah,
a lesson learned?
I mean, first of all, her entire concert is in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish.
Okay.
I'm her DJ. I'm the one that's responsible for what people hear. So essentially, the entire concert is in my hands. You know, whether people see it that way or not. Like, and we have like, it was like a band of 10 girls, but everything still starts with me. I'm the one who press play, and then they know the cue to start. You know. So
Because so the band, so that's like guitarists and
guitar,
all the
drums, bass, piano,
all female.
all female.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, so there's a lot of pressure on me, and then on top of that, I have no idea what this lady is saying half of the time, you know. So I really had to like learn her body language, learn her tone, like learn
The cues.
the actual language to a certain extent to be able to understand like when I was required to do certain things, you know. So there's been times when she would be like, skip the song, and I would not know what that meant, and I would be like, "Beep," and then she would, you know, look back at me like, girl. And I'm like, you know, so
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of pressure, and I think like probably, you know, what I learned from that is just like, I mean, I am a very easygoing person, so I wouldn't say I necessarily adopted this idea of like, oh, like mistakes are unacceptable, perfection is the way of life. Like, I don't believe that like things should be like that, but I know just going through that experience, it just made me like a stronger person to be able to, you know, stay in an environment like that
Yeah.
and you know, achieve on such a level, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so that was diving into the one of the biggest achievements then from the DJ perspective. Let's circle back now a few years before to the dancing scene. What would you say was one of your biggest achievements within the dancing scene?
I mean, every experience was so different, you know? I would say I always bring up Sean Paul because the relationship that we have now is just like so crazy that I met him on set. I met him on set doing a music video for his artist, a guy named Ching Ching from Jamaica.
Okay.
That's how I met him on set.
Yeah.
And he requested for me to go to LA and be in his next music video. And we kind of just kept in touch through social media for a while. And then, ironically, DJing for Karol is when I met him again. Backstage, I was like, oh, shoot, Sean Paul is one of the featured artists. Definitely need to go say hi. And I went backstage to meet him, and he just showed me so much love. Like, love on a level that, you know, when you go back home, people not even really showing you that love. Like, he was telling his team, like, yo, like, she's a bad dancer. Like, she was in my music video back in the day. You know, she's a big DJ. You know, she just played piano. And he was just, like, gassing me up. And I was like, wow, like, you know, I remember growing up and having birthday parties, and I would gather all the girls, and we would dance battle the guys, like, to Sean Paul music, you know? So, one, for him to, like, see something in me and want me to be in his music video, and then keep up with my journey and know what I'm actually doing, seeing him again. And then I met him in Sint Maarten this past December, and like he reached out to me, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, I think like relationships are more important than necessarily accomplishments, because for me, it's like that one thing just led to us having a kind of friendship. And I think that's cool. That's something that I would never forget versus like, oh, like I was in a movie, you know, that's really cool too, but it's something about like just having a relationship with somebody who you would have never thought that you would have had a relationship with, that kind of like sticks with me, you know?
Well, I might be framing the question here with the achievements to basically pull out those highlighted moments. But in essence, I also, well, I've said it in many times when I give presentations, etc., that networking is the lifeblood of business, and essentially your network equals your net worth. And without maintaining your network and being responsible with it, you'll also be shooting yourself in the foot with opportunities for the future.
So true. And I actually wish more people knew that, particularly in Sint Maarten. And obviously, like, I mean, around the world, people need to know that. But I'm speaking on Sint Maarten because that's obviously where I'm from. Like, I wish that people knew the value of relationships and how to actually make genuine connections, you know? Because I would say, like, as a dancer is one thing, but all the connections that I made as a dancer is now translating to my career as a DJ. And all of the things that I've been doing so far has been somebody recommending me, somebody seeing me on social media, you know, or like having a relationship with them on social media, that I think is kind of lacking in Sint Maarten, you know? Like, even in LA, if I meet a DJ and we like exchange, yo, like, let's link up next week, let's session together, like, oh, if you need any music, I'll send you my playlist. Like, those things don't typically happen in Sint Maarten, you know? Like, I don't have people being as
open and sharing.
That makes all the difference, because then you're gonna be like, oh, I remember this guy, like, he was so cool, like, let me hit him up. I can't make this gig, but like I think he'll be perfect. People are only going to recommend you based off of like the vibes that they get from you, you know? And I don't think that maybe some people in Sint Maarten have not gotten to that place yet of realizing that, like, that's so much of the key to...
A lot of that just has to do with the small island mentality and the fact that it's so small.
It's so small,
and everyone is fishing in the same pond. So that makes it that people tend to, how to say... There's only so much fish in the pond.
There's only so much fish in the pond, And everybody I already know you already know me. So it's like, what, you know, but I don't know. I still feel like...
Yeah, there is another level,
there's another level
that it can go. But for that, each of the individuals would also have to fully understand that there is still more value to be have in our own people networking versus always looking
Looking
outside.
outside, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think maybe a part of it is also ego too, because it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
when I go back home, I'm like, I could also reach out to, and I do reach out to people to a certain extent, but I'm like, oh, it's interesting. Like, why don't, DJs reach out to like collaborate and like do stuff? And I'm like, oh, it's not that they don't want to, but it's more like, oh, like, you know, why am I hitting up BB Bad to collab? Like, I don't want her thinking that, like, she's all that or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So you kind of just, yeah, like, and it's like, as a creative, I just feel like there's so many things that we could do together,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So on tap in a bit further on this as a creative topic. Um, how would you say that you're connected to your purpose in life in your current career path?
Like, how is what I'm doing now connected to my purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, so I don't really say this very often. Some people might know, but one of my biggest aspirations actually is to be like a motivational speaker. So totally left field of what I'm doing now, like, pursuing art. But my mom would always say like everything that I'm doing now is essentially connecting to when I decide to have that moment,
When you decide to make the next shift.
exactly. Like all of the connections, all the people that I meet and that I know, like, or even like the people who are following me, like my fans, my supporters, my community, like maybe they might be the ones who need to hear from me when I decide to take that step, And
Yeah.
I mean, it's still all connected, I think it's still art when I use my voice. And I think that that's something that I am actively now trying to do more than ever. Like,
Okay.
I always knew that I wanted to use my voice. But getting a little deep, like I feel like through childhood, my throat chakra is like a little blocked,
Okay.
And
That's
so
anything there that you want to unpack?
unpack for the audience, because I mean I already know,
Yeah, yeah, for the audience.
I mean, in a nutshell, I think like being the youngest in my family, I'm the baby,
Because it's three of you guys,
yeah,
right?
three of us,
Okay.
yeah.
All girls.
All girls,
Yeah.
yes. So I think growing up, you don't really get to make much decisions. It's like, we going here, we doing this, give me that,
Yeah,
and you're just like, okay, like, and so I think as a result of like that behavior, me just being the youngest one and kind of just, going with the flow and following around, like I never really use my voice to say, well, hey, actually, no, I'm not sharing my food with you, or I don't, whatever the case might be. That essentially, created a blockage in me
Speaking up
speaking
more?
up.
Okay.
And I think that partially maybe that's why I wanted to dance too, because that was like a way for me to express without words. It was a way
True.
for me to like get emotions and things out of my body
Yeah.
in a different way than using my voice. But I always knew that I wanted to use my voice.
You kind of triggered something in my head right now.
You're like, how does that connect to me?
Well, beyond myself, because I also have a musical past and went through a very deep creative journey, and now it's in the expression is a bit different, but also when I kind of observe those around me, or even some of my nieces and nephews, I do kind of tend to see a correlation with the younger ones in the family being more creative and having more of that creative expression. So,
Yeah.
so the way that you put it, that was actually part of the outlet because you felt that you didn't truly have a voice that I don't want to say mattered, but more like could steer, could captain the ship.
Yeah.
That you chose, you found a way to have a voice in a creative expression. So it's kind of interesting that
It is very interesting actually, and it's very deep, because I recently heard this. it's not necessarily a theory, I think it's true, that your purpose is connected to your trauma. So essentially, you know, me feeling like suppressed in my voice, now that translates to me wanting to be a motivational speaker. Why? Because I want to use my voice, the voice that I felt like I didn't have, to have an impact. You know, so very interesting, but I mean, it definitely is spot on, you know.
And the motivational part is essentially to inspire others that may also have similar feelings, to be able to go beyond themselves, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Very cool.
There you go, everybody. My trauma, no. I'm like, oh my God, she was abused as a child.
Well, you did not say that. You did not say that. Actually, funny story, because today is the first day that we've officially met.
Yeah, for sure.
So we connected on social media now some time back, but today is the first day we officially met. But I actually met your dad a few years back on Sint Maarten, super random.
Oh.
Yeah. It was by the Lolos on the front side.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And he just started talking to me because I was busy filming some stuff, and then he mentioned, oh yeah, my daughter also does vlogging and blah blah blah. He went into fully boasting mode.
He is like my biggest fan. Like
100%.
Every week I get DMs from somebody saying, "Hey, I met your dad. He's the best person ever. He loves you so much. He supports you so much. Like I just found you on Instagram because of him." I'm like, "Oh my God, Daddy." At least he just tell them text her right now. I'm like, oh my God, I do not need these DMs from these strangers.
From these random people.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, so he was definitely super proud and letting me know what you was up to. But I already had you on social media, so I could see some of the stuff that
You're
was
like, yeah, I know.
flying by. So then we'll actually segue into growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So in the brief explanation just now, you jumped straight to 17 when you left. Mm-hmm. So let's go back to little Bianca running around Sint Maarten. So what was it like for you growing up?
It was great, you know. I always felt like my family was like, you know, like when they say like the white picket fence, because a lot of my friends growing up, they really used to like lean on my parents a lot. Like they felt like they were those
stable,
parents that they could actually go and talk to.
Yeah.
You know, and there's been like so many people, even outside of my friends, like my sister's friends, you know, like they were kind of like guidance for people who maybe they might have seen that like had potential but were maybe going down the wrong path, you know. Like I had a good life, you know, never worried about having anything, you know. I had a lot of experiences that I would say probably the average child was not having at that time, you know. Like we would travel every summer, you know, we would go camping on a regular.
Camping in Sint Maarten?
Like to Flat Island or Pinel, back in the day when they didn't have any of those, you know, restaurants and stuff. You know, we would be on boats, like just like I had like just like the craziest like experiences as a child. I was just like very like worldly, you know. And
did you realize any of that at that moment, or when did that comprehension kind of hit you?
I would say slightly. I already knew.
Okay.
Because, for example, in school, you come back from summer vacation and teacher would ask you, oh, what did you do? And, oh, we went to the front side, you know, one night and we had like a nice dinner. And people are like, I never been to the front side. And you're like...
What?
In primary school, like there was kids who...
Wow.
I never been to the front side.
That's
like, I don't know where Marigo is. Like... You know, so from then I'll go home and like, my mom is American, so she's like, if I ask you how your day is, you're not gonna say good, and then that's it. Like, we gonna talk about, you know, all of the things, you know. So I was always yapping, and then so we would have conversations about things like that, you know, and just like the differences in your friendships when you say certain things and they're like, camping, like that's white people things. Who's doing that, you know? Yeah, so I would say like for the most part I had an amazing life, you know. Anything that I wanted to do, my parents support me 100%, you know. Like my first love was actually the violin. I used to play the violin.
Okay.
Bam. Play the piano. Go ahead. You want to dance? Great. Like, you know, anything that I wanted to do, you want to swim. You know, like they were just so supportive.
Yeah.
And I think maybe in the past I would have said like to people, you know, like if you just, you know, work hard and dedicate yourself, like you can make things happen for yourself. But I think the truth is that like the where I am today is really, really, really and truly because of the support that I had. Like I don't think, at least me with my personality, I don't know if I would have made it this far
Yeah.
without having support, you know? Because like, you know, like most parents might say, oh, the arts, like you better go to school first, you know. Even in high school, like some of my teachers were like,
Yeah.
you leave in St. Dominic to do school online so you could go to New York and take dance class for summer. Like I would never let my child do that, you know. So like even the school was not very supportive of it, but because they were like, well, Bianca, if this is what you want to do, like let's go try, you know. It wasn't even like you need to make sure you make it in this. It was just like life doesn't need to be this series of events that it needs to be like this, it needs to be like that, you know. But I think
so essentially they always created a safe space for you to try. And by trying, even if you fail, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can just try again. Yeah, that's one of the most important things to have.
Yeah, for sure.
And the mindset it takes to be able to achieve anything, because anything that you're going to start to do at first, the likelihood of it failing is very, very high.
Very much so, yeah, very much.
But it's only by continuously failing that you actually become successful at anything that you choose to pursue.
Yep. And,
awesome. So in essence, they created a very strong and stable foundation to allow you to pursue anything that came to mind, and also give you the confidence and taken away the fear that if you were to fail or fall, there's people there to catch you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Even, and I think partially why they did that is because from a young age, actually, I think like my first grade teacher told my parents to get me tested to see if I was on the spectrum. Come to find out,
ADHD or something.
I have ADHD just like everybody else. Surprise. So I actually got diagnosed.
Yeah.
And they knew that like just academics was not my strong suit. I was not a failing student, but I was not the strongest for sure, you know.
Yeah.
So like being in St. Dominic and in third form, you need to choose the business or the science package, and that's going to determine the rest of your life. And actually, like I was telling you, like I didn't initially want to dance. Like that was not my career choice. I chose science because I love nature. Like I was like, I'm gonna probably be a veterinarian. I'm gonna probably do something with plants. Like my grandmother was a botanist, you know, like she had her own flower shop. So I was like, this is my vibe, like being out in nature, you know, just, I'm gonna pick science. I chose a science package, and before you know it, they were like, Bianca, you're not doing good enough. You gotta go switch to the business package. And I was like, business? So I think that's also when I started to lean on dance, because it felt like that was the only thing that I was good at.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I, you know, base my entire life on is not working out. So like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
You know? So I think that because they knew that academics was not my strong suit, they had to like really start to instill a mindset in me that was like, okay, you definitely probably don't want to go to college, you know, like you've been struggling your whole life with academics, so we're gonna have to support you in a different way. Like you just have a different
But even that's
way.
not common, eh? And I mean in the Caribbean even more, it's less common that parents would even accept that.
Oh my God, like being on a spectrum, like having ADHD, like
No.
that's so taboo.
Well, the fact that just accepting
like,
that
you're not going to
you're
college.
not going to college, and we'll support you in figuring out your path.
Yeah.
Usually there's still like a force and a push that,
For sure,
hey,
for
you
sure.
have to go study, you have to go finish this thing.
Yeah.
And then a lot of kids end up going down a path or studying something that they're totally not interested in.
Yep.
dropping out, repeating, or starting over again.
Starting over, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, another thing that parents also don't accept in the Caribbean too. I mean, hopefully it's getting better, but like, the whole mental health, ADHD, autism, like my child don't have that. The conversation is so
Taboo.
so taboo. And I hope that changes, because that would essentially help so much in just understanding like who your child is. It's not that they're lazy. It's not that they just want to play and have fun. It's that
they're just different.
Their brains are literally wired for different things. And it's only because society says you need to fit this one mold. If they don't fit this mold, all of a sudden, like, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing that they don't fit, but I think like definitely needs to be way more education around like those topics. And even for me, like,
and way more conversations.
Exactly. And I think even though I was diagnosed at the time, like, my mom was reading this book to kind of understand a little bit more like about me and just how I function. But I wouldn't say until probably the last 2 years, like me as an adult, like I've been diving into it myself to really understand, and it just opened like a whole nother world, to like understand, oh, that's why I do this, or that's why I experience this sometimes, like just thinking, oh, maybe it's just me, and then come to find out, oh, this is just symptoms of ADHD. And if people actually could label what they have, they'll be able to change their entire life. Like, I am doing so much better now and like finding solutions to help my ADHD, whereas
is there anything that you could give an example of?
So I started working with this company called Allegory from Trinidad, actually.
Okay.
I don't know the specific name of this doctor. He's a something. Yeah.
Okay.
And I started doing this program with them, and I did 8 sessions with them to work on my ADHD. And that has been like so transformative. Like simple things like having anxiety decreased, like something that people with ADHD sometimes experience is like paralysis, where like you have so many things on your mind of like, oh, if I wake up then at 10 o'clock I should do this, but then what about that task yesterday, and then should I blah, blah, blah. Like you have so many things on your mind that before you know it, you just shut down and you just decide not to do any of them, because and essentially you become paralyzed, right? So you just like lay there instead of like taking a
paralysis.
step. Help me with that. Like, I am so much more focused. I'm able to get so much more done in a day without like thinking twice about it, whereas before I would have just felt like overwhelmed and so kind of just taking.
But is it something to do with diet, or is just to do with like the thinking patterns?
Like, you literally go through a whole program. So the first part of it, which the doctor doesn't like me to say this, but for me it's true, like it's kind of a form of therapy.
Okay.
So you go into your childhood and they explore like different things that could have been traumatic for you. And as you go through it, they send you through this process to actually go back to like a hurtful memory, and you need to like rewrite the story in your brain, and like rewriting it in your memory actually starts to create a different pathways in your brain.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds crazy, but like it's literally science, like it's not it's literally science. And even after the first session, I was just like, whoa, I feel brand new. I feel so clear. And then another part of the sessions would be like memory training, focus training, just like specific things that they would have me do to like focus on one spot. And it's nothing to do with like breathing, even though I think that might also be another way to like get yourself focused. But like just all these different things that they had me go through, that by the end I was like, I literally felt like a totally different person.
Wow.
And that like essentially changed my life, and it helped me just understand that like some of the struggles I was having is like curable.
Yeah.
And I think that could help so many people if they just
identify
knew.
And
yeah. And like there's nothing, like I think that people have like shame around, oh, I'm autistic, like what does that mean? I mean, we only have these labels in the first place because society wants you to function one specific way.
True.
But and it's like you're talking about purpose, like we are born the way that we're supposed to be, you know? So it's like my purpose is not meant to be yours and vice versa. So it's like, of course, our brains need to be different because I'm not meant to be doing what you're doing and the other way around too, you know? So that's really important information that I'm happy I actually got to share because, yeah, I think
But
it would
this
be...
already kind of tapping into the future motivational speaking.
There we go. There we go.
Awesome. So the childhood was amazing. You got to experience couple things more than the average kid, and got a strong foundation at home to be able to go and pursue your dreams.
Yeah.
And since you've been pursuing your dreams, coming from a small, tiny island of 37 square miles, how would you say your Caribbean roots have influenced your way of doing business today in your career?
I mean, I would definitely say that just being from Sint Maarten specifically has contributed to a lot of my success, you know. As you hear my accent, it's like I never left, you know,
Pretty
and
much.
that's something that happens, you know, when people go away, like they lose their accent because they're trying to like conform essentially.
Yeah.
And I think that within itself like made me so unique. And
So what made you not conform?
I just didn't care to.
Okay.
I just didn't care to. Like, living in a place like New York, first of all, most people should understand you. They should understand you because it's a melting pot of so many cultures and, you know, the whole Caribbean is there. And I think eventually, like, me finding my tribe, which was Caribbean and African people, it was just natural for me to just be like this, you know?
Because everyone would kind of naturally be their own thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, even around Americans, like, oh, my mom is Jamaican, you know, so like somewhere, somehow there's always like a tie.
Yeah.
And I would say, yeah, like, it's like everything from being about Sint Maarten, being from Sint Maarten is why I am the way I am, why I'm here today, you know, in my relation to people, why people like me, you know, I think it's just
Give me an example.
I mean, gosh.
I'm not going to leave you get away with anything vague. Eh?
I know it's so vague, but it's so hard to like tie in one thing. Like, what can
The first thing that comes to mind.
Okay, well, this is going to be like multiple. So like, for example, my mom moving to Sint Maarten from the States. Like, she had to learn how to, because both my parents own businesses on Sint Maarten. Like, straight from college when they moved, they were like, we're doing this.
Oh, so your dad went to college in the States. That's where they met.
My mom,
and then,
yes, exactly. So, you know, very creative, entrepreneurial minds that was just like, okay, like, we're going to do this, you know. But she had to learn the culture and learn the people and how to navigate relationships to be able to do business, you know. And I think...
Because it's very different.
It's very different, you know. And I think she had to gain a lot of strength to be able to work with Sint Maarten people. And I think that that's something that she passed down to us, like being very direct, being very honest, being very forward, and standing in your power, you know? And so that was my brought up see in Sint Maarten. And so I think that because I take that with me now into the person that I am, like on a personal level, but also on a business level, like, that has gotten me into the right rooms, like people who just vibrate on that level of like, oh, I appreciate like you just showing up this way as this person. So I know it still sounds vague, but I feel like it's more of like an energetic thing versus like a very like physical thing that happened because of this, you know?
Yeah. So essentially he's saying is kind of like now we might be getting into a very different space, but sort of the frequency that you vibrate on energetically and are in sort of that mindset and mind space, which you learned in your Caribbean roots. It's what allows you to enter certain rooms or be invited to certain rooms. And that people of, let's say, already certain accomplishments immediately connect onto that frequency and be like, oh, you're good. And because there was there was a particular saying, or it was
I
something.
didn't know we could cuss on this podcast.
Oh. I'll give Harun a bit of work, but he'll bleep it
shoot.
out.
Okay. Sorry.
He'll bleep it out.
Beat it up.
So the more we cuss, the more work he'll have with adding the bleeps. He's like, no, don't do that. Yeah, sorry, but that's just my natural way.
No, that's me too. But that's why I was like, I have to be very intentional about not saying that when I'm on camera. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but
that's me. See, that's just my ADHD. I'm being distracted now. I'm like, oh, new thought.
Okay, so there was something about rooms, and no, now I lost it.
Sorry. So essentially, ADHD relationships in a nutshell. You just distract each other, and then you're like, "What was I even saying?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
It was such. It was.
He's like,
it
it's
was
so profound. You just messed me up.
Such a profound thing. Who knows? Maybe I'll get back to it later.
This is hilarious.
Okay, so we get it back on track now. Mentors. So I guess I could already guess that your parents would fall into this category, but were there other specific mentors on your journey that you would say that you learned something significant and profound from?
For sure. The first people that come to mind is my dance teachers, Indira and Susha.
Indira?
Yeah.
Oh my God! And me and Indira were in the same class.
Yeah, there you go.
In 6th grade.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and like they're just incredible. Like it's not something that I learned from them, but it's something that they gave to me. Maybe I get emotional here, but they just always believed in me. Just always, and I think that that's important for a child. Like, you need to have people that. Like Indira saw me before I saw myself.
Wow.
Why am I getting But for real, like she, like just people who pour so much into you, like educators, teachers who like genuinely want to pour into you and see you become the best version of yourself. Like I wish that every child could have that.
Yeah.
And again, like they contributed to the person that I am today and the success that I have because they just never let up. It was like push harder, do better. Indira signed me up for my first dance competition as a soloist. And I think like in the public eye in Sint Maarten is like, oh, well, of course, Bianca's the best dancer in Sint Maarten. She's going to win this competition. That's not my mindset as a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
I am thinking to myself, I have never did a solo in a competition. There's other amazing dancers that are competing, like, who knows, but she knew that I needed that competition to instill another level of confidence within me, And the same thing with Susha, like they just, when I think about it, I'm like, I was 17 years old moving to New York thinking that I could have really pursue a professional career in dance. Like that's low-key delusional. But it's because of the support that I had that was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Not knowing if I actually could, but it was like, there was just never a doubt, and it's just just words of encouragement, and just the energy around, like, it's just crazy. So they were definitely like huge mentors, huge supporters, like helping me figure out, even the dance schools that I should go to and what lane that I should take, like, to have, like, mentors are everything.
Yeah.
And I know that people don't know that, like, I know that a lot of people have this trauma of, I need to do everything on my own. Like, I'm gonna figure it out by myself. I'm not gonna ask people for favors. And I know that that's also, like, trauma within itself from the past. But there's nothing that we could do on our own. Like, everything that I am is because somebody helped me some way, somehow, put me on to somebody, put me on to opportunities, like build my character, build my craft, And then now I have two mentors. One is Leslie Samuel. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah.
I met him at Art Saves Lives in Sint Maarten like a couple of
Okay.
years
Yeah.
back, and we just like connected. I went up to him and I told him, hey, like, I want like my future aspiration is to be a life coach. And from there, like, he's just been in my life as somebody I could call anytime. He helps me from time to time with ideas. Like, even if I just need somebody to talk to, like, he's just like always there. And super appreciate him for that, Again,
Awesome.
like, he's super successful in his own ways. And again, somebody who's just like, I just want the best for you, like, as a human,
Yeah.
And that's so special to have people in your life that just want good for you, like, genuinely. And then I have another mentor, Tia Rivera, who she's my dance mentor essentially, but she's all around business, life, spiritual, and she's also been like a huge just figure in my life that changed my mindset in so many ways. I know you might ask me like, what, for example?
You see, you're catching on.
This is gonna go in a totally different direction, but I was in New York one summer, and I saw that she was doing a dance workshop.
Okay.
And this is right
That's
when
before you met her, or do you guys know each other already at
I
this point?
met her briefly, but didn't really. I knew that she was like an up and coming like working choreographer in the industry. I was like, oh, like let me go take a dance workshop. And for some reason, when I was in New York that summer, like I was not. It was like my first summer as a DJ in New York, and I was sleeping on a friend's couch, and I was just having like these very like depressive days, and I was just like confused about my career and like how am I making this happen? Like what's
Yeah.
happening?
Because the confusion was also to do with the fact that you started DJing, and then were you going through a bit of an identity crisis?
it
Like,
was
am I still a
like-
dancer? Am I a DJ now? Am I both?
It was like the first summer right after the pandemic. Am I moving back to the US? Like what am I what am I doing with my life? Like how am I gonna make ends meet as a DJ? Do I still want to pursue dance on this level? Like yeah, just identity crisis of like this switch.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a switch, right? Like I'm still all of those things, but that's another conversation. And so I signed up for her workshop, and I remember that morning waking up and I was just like, oh, like I really don't want to go, but I already paid this money, so let me just go. I was just like, oh, everything just sucks. Like, just like in one of those moods.
Yeah.
And then like within the first 5 minutes of like just being in her space and like how she curated the workshop, like she sat us down and she was like, this is not a dance workshop. Like you're gonna dance, we're gonna get there, but like let's tap in with
Yeah.
you. And she made us like sit and write down like the best version of ourselves. Like what does that look like? What money do I have in the bank account? Like who's with me? Where do I live? What car am I driving? Like what am I doing? And it's just the life that she's spoken to me like in that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, I was meant to be here. And
That's what you needed to pull you out of that
yes,
space.
it pulled me out of that space. But I think the greatest thing that she did, like through that, and I know that everybody's not religious, and I'm also not religious, but she like brought God to me in a different way. Like I don't know if you ever meet people sometimes and you're like, wow, like you just reflect so much good energy that you just like, you are like a pure like source from God. I felt like when she was speaking, that it wasn't her, like it was like a message being sent
Transmitted. Yeah.
to me, but she is that person, like
The messenger.
she is like a messenger, but like for so many people in the industry, like she just like exudes like so much light.
Yeah.
But because she is like all of her success and everything that she does is essentially like she says that it's not her, like it's God working through her for her purpose.
Yeah.
Like this is her purpose and God is working through her. And I literally felt that. I was like, this is like for me in a way that like I didn't feel in a long time. And so one of the things that she gave to me definitely was like building a deeper connection with God, like whatever that means, like that it could be the universe, it could be source, it could be like whatever you choose to like call it or identify with,
Yeah.
It just brought me closer to that. And since then,
So since then, you have been building a connection?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it's been so vital in my life now, that and it's making me a better person. Like, I feel better, like I have more hope, I look forward to things. And even this morning, like, I was listening to this sermon and I started to cry, and essentially the guy was saying that you, like, yes, you have all these things, and great, thank you God for these things, but it's like, I was just thinking about the fact that I'm in Europe on my first tour, and like, I'm like, oh, like, I wish I had more gigs, or like, oh my God, like, everything is so new, and I'm like just moving on to the next thing. But I'm like, wait, like, stop, like, you are literally here, like, all of this is happening because it's meant to be, and it's
Yeah.
meant to be a part of your journey, and it's because of like what God wants you to be here to do right now, and it was just put things back into perspective, like, stop for a second,
Yeah, yeah.
and like recognize like what this moment
Is.
is, or
Yeah.
what it could be when you slow down.
So essentially, be present.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, wait. Yeah. That went deep, but yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, my next question don't feel as deep, so I'm gonna skip that one, and we might come back to it, and we're gonna go to another deep one to keep the flow going.
You're like, what's your skincare routine? You're like, well,
those words would definitely never come out of my mouth. Yeah, Harun is here shaking his head because he knows me too well. Okay, so let's imagine that on that chair over there, right? Yeah, don't look far back. Okay, let's say that little one over there. Younger Bianca, not little Bianca, but younger Bianca. So 18-year-old Bianca is sitting there right now. And so at this point, she's about 1 year into her journey in New York. And with all of your experience now, a decade later, what advice would you give her?
that's hard because it could be a million things.
Choose one, and you could flow into others, no problem.
10 years ago.
What was 18-year-old Bianca struggling with that you figured out now today?
Gosh. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind was to let her know that, like, you'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I never felt like I wasn't going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes when you're in the midst of everything, you're like,
Yeah.
what is going on, And I always say this, that, like, when I moved to New York, like, I hated it.
Oh.
I was not like, yeah, living my dream. Like, I was like 12 dance classes a week, like taking the train, walking everywhere, like in this concrete jungle. Like, I'm around Americans. I'm like, it's just a lot of new things, you know?
Yeah.
And for a long time, I was just like, I think I was really like in fight or flight mode. Like, I don't have like a lot of memories I think I should probably have from those times, because I was
Interesting.
very much like in this like survival mode, even though like essentially, again, like I had the support from my parents. It wasn't like I was like, I gotta hustle to make ends meet, but it was just more like, I ask myself all the time, I'm like, why am I here? Like, why am I doing this? For a long time in my dance journey.
Yeah.
And I think like eventually I had to make a mindset shift. Like, I was like, Bianca, if you're gonna be here, like, you can't be like this.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would just tell her, like, every single step that you take is connected to something else. And it's and you don't even know the impact that you're going to have because you're so worried about like day to day, but it's coming.
Yeah.
And like, you're gonna be great. Yeah.
Awesome. So in essence, don't worry too much with the trials and tribulations of the daily battle and the daily struggles. Just continue on the journey. Everything's connected, and in the end, everything will be okay. Essentially, some parts will even be great.
Yep.
All right, advice to the 18-year-olds.
I mean, it's so hard, right? Because, like, if you ask me, like, what would I say to another 18-year-old, it would be very different. Because, like, for example,
What would that be?
like, I observe that, like, with certain dancers that, like, I mentor to a certain extent, or just, like, being around younger kids, and, like, the common struggle is that, like, they go and they choose something and they don't like it, and then they're like, nah, I'm not doing that. But it's like I said, I hated everything about being in New York for so long. Like,
so how long did it take for that shift to happen?
Like almost 3 years.
3 years, wow.
And
So-
so my advice is always like,
Stick
if you
it through.
say that you love something, it doesn't mean it's gonna be a ray of sunshine. Like, you
All the time.
still have to, like,
Work.
go through first grade, second grade, third grade. Like, it's going to level up. It's going to be harder. Like, you can't say you love something and then not be willing to put in the work to see it through.
Yeah.
I don't think enough people are seeing it through. Like, they go and they're like, yeah, I did this, but, like, but did you really do it? Like, did you really do it?
Yeah.
And like, I was talking to a friend, like, probably years ago, about, like, how in the pandemic, a lot of my artist friends, like, a lot of them left the industry and not pursuing art. And, like, if you genuinely want to do that, like, that's fine. But we were talking about, like, the few of us that were left, the few of us that, like, stuck through it, and, like, how we evolved our art into something else. Like,
Yeah.
we are reaping the rewards now, because, like, we stuck through, like, literally the unknown.
Yeah.
And we stuck to it, and so here we are. But you can't say you want to be like your inspiration, and then you spend a year doing something, and then you're like, oh gosh, like, no, this is too hard, I can't do it, like, it's too. And I think that separates the people, like, that are gonna be good, and that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be great, if you want to work with an A-list celebrity, guess what? Like, more times than not, it's gonna be hard freaking work. But that's what it takes. And because I did that, now there's a whole nother door of opportunities that are waiting for me, because I could function at that level.
Yeah.
But it's like, you need to prove to yourself that you could actually function on that level. And so I feel like that would be the advice. Like, yes, you're gonna be okay. Like, do the work, you're gonna be okay. Choose something. And if you need to reroute because you don't have passion for it, that's very different from just saying, like, oh gosh, like, I don't like it, it's scary, like, and then you just give up, because you're not seeing your vision, your purpose through to the end,
Yeah.
So.
All right. Good advice. So now I'll circle back to that question that I had paused
to the
on
skincare?
earlier. The skincare. But it actually comes back to something you were mentioning earlier, that by the time you went back to the States and you're DJing, and I think at the time you said when you first went back you were sleeping on a friend's couch. So figuring out how to monetize these creative talents. How has that evolved for you, let's say now in 2025?
Gosh, I mean, like, I remember when I first started DJing, in Sint Maarten, and the rates were what they were, like, $150 for hour, and they're like, that's cool. I'm like, oh, that's like fast money, essentially in Sint Maarten. And I was so scared to ask for anything else. I'm like, 200, Kembe would be like, charge them $200, charge them $250 if it's a, $250, and then moving to LA, expensive city, and being like, how am I gonna do this? Because essentially I didn't really have much knowledge on rates that I could be charging, I was new to being a DJ in the US. Is a whole
Yeah.
different ball game. Like, why are we hiring you? Like, what's the value? You
Yeah.
know, I would say like working with Karol G really helped me. Well, it added value to me, number one.
Yeah.
And then it also helped me realize how much money is actually out there for artists, for DJs. And I think definitely like working with her was a vital changing point of like having to learn how to negotiate contracts, and like the amount of money that I was making helped me realize like, oh, this is a whole different ball game. Like, you could be charging this, and this could really be like a sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
So essentially, that meeting and getting that opportunity helped to completely transform your perspective.
yes. Like, now I'm not scared to pitch, certain rates, whereas before I would think that maybe, you need to be like that DJ to be able to do that. Where now I'm like, yeah, this is my rate, and people are like, sorry, can't afford that. And I'm like, I'm okay with it, because that's what it takes to have a sustainable, you could go and do the job for 150, but like, how many of those jobs you're going to have to do to make ends meet? And like, I see that very often with DJs, even in LA. Like, there's girls that are working like 5-6 gigs in a weekend, and I'm like, I get it, like, you got to make ends meet, but I'm happy that I learned my value and gained value so that I could essentially do less and make more.
And make more, yeah. To have a better value exchange.
Yes. And there's so much money in the industry. Like, if people see a value and they want you, like, they will pay your price.
Yeah.
And sometimes they might even offer more. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm definitely grateful for that. Because is as an artist, we forget the business side, you know, like, we just kind of like there for the fun and the vibes, and hopefully you give me a good rate, but it's like that's not sustainable.
Yeah, you can build a life with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if we're looking into the crystal ball of the future, well, you already mentioned that one of the aspirations is the motivational speaking. But anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
I feel like inevitably it will lead to that point, and like I said, I'm actively working on that. So like, I'm doing my vlog, and I'm trying to hold myself accountable to do some actual talking videos on my Instagram. Hiding behind my career as a DJ, dancer, advice type stuff for now. That's something that I just wanted. Again, like, I feel like my voice is a huge part of my purpose, so I definitely want people to be able to, see like a more human side of me on social media more often than just like the next gig and the next accomplishment. But like, my biggest thing that I'm working on right now is having my show be more consecutive. So my show being me DJing, having dancers coming out and dancing, choreographing, directing.
Because talking about that, now I segue in. I did see the some of the highlights from the Aruba show, and that one did caught me by surprise, because I didn't know that you was incorporating all of that into it. Was that one of the first times you did that, or you've done it many other times in that setup?
Not many other times. The first time I did it was 2022, I think, at Heineken Regatta. Became a DJ and was like, how can I fuse these worlds? I still want dance. How can I?
Oh, you were DJing at the Heineken Regatta.
Yeah, they hit me up to dance, and I was like, hey guys, well, I'm a DJ now, so like, can I dance and DJ? And they were like, just do whatever you want, because I've been working with them for the past 10 years of my life, literally. So they always hit me up for like entertainment, you know, for dancers. So I was like, I'm gonna use this opportunity. Like, the idea just came to me. I was like, that's like, that would be pretty sick,
And it's something that's quite unique.
It's very different, exactly. But I didn't get to do it again until last October, which was in Bonaire, actually. That was the first time like it really debuted in like a clean way, in a full package. And Bonaire literally led to Aruba, and I was like, we doing it even bigger and even better. And so that's kind of like my short-term goal right now, is to like be booked not just as BB Bad, but like BB Bad show, where I'm like bringing dancers, and like it's just a whole nother level experience of energy, to be emceeing and playing music and then coming out and dancing. Like you said, like you saw that highlight, like people didn't expect it. They were like, why she have the mic in her hand? Is she about to like perform or sing? You know?
She about to rap, sing?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And it's a way to keep that dance dream alive, you know? Like, I don't have to wait for somebody to say yes to book me on the next job. It's like when I get booked and I pitch this idea, if people love it, I could, you know, I'm essentially the artist. I'm not like behind somebody. Like, I am that person that is doing it all, you know?
Yeah.
And that energy on stage like really excites me. 'Cause,
So
like as a dancer, at least like one of my biggest dreams was always to like perform live. You know, like music videos are cool, TV is cool, but like nothing beats the energy of like being on stage real time in a crowd and
Yeah.
getting people hype, you know? So that's something that I want to really be booked more often for.
Awesome. So, yeah, I think we covered all the topics, man. So this is probably premiering midway through the European tour. So where can people, the Europeans that are watching, where can they see you this summer?
Well, I mean, they're going to miss this, but tomorrow I'm going to be in Paris. I don't even have all my dates on the top of my head. I think the 23rd, I'm going to be in Belgium. Rotterdam Carnival, the 25th and the 26th. Also Amsterdam on the 26th. And then I'm actually going to Trinidad for 5 days, mid-Euro tour for another gig. Coming back August 8th, I'm doing Antilliaanse Feesten in
Belgium. Yeah, Hoogstraten in Belgium. Yeah.
And then I also have more dates coming for August as well. So those will be announced when they get confirmed.
Because the tour ends when?
Like me, like just being in Europe in general, I'm leaving on September 4th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all the month of July and August, people can potentially catch you behind
somewhere.
The turntables and or simultaneously on stage.
If they give me a stage, then for sure.
Okay, awesome. Any closing words, final advice for the viewers at home?
Ooh, where am I at now? Definitely one lesson I have learned this year, and I think could be valuable for people, whether they're artists or not, is don't underestimate the power of reaching out. Like, if closed mouths don't get fed.
True.
You know, if there is somebody you want to work with, if there's a place you want to, you know, work in, like if there's an opportunity that you want, like you have to shoot your shot.
Yeah.
You cannot be scared of rejection. You can't be scared of being cringy. You can't worry about what other people might think. You just have to be like, know what you want and put it out there, because essentially that's literally how I booked myself on this tour.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I see this club, that looks cool, reach out. And you don't know unless you try. And I've been sending emails since February, probably over 50 emails and DMs to festivals, clubs, and this is the result of that work, you know.
Awesome.
So I think that could be valuable for people who
and
might...
also part in there is putting the ego to the side.
Yes.
That's probably where it starts.
Exactly, yeah, for sure. And fair too, because for me it was never ego. It was more like, oh gosh, like what's this person gonna think if I reach out? Like I don't want to like ask for a favor. Like I don't want you thinking about what they might think, which you don't know at the end of the day, you know. And that's just like, especially in this industry, it just is the way that it is. If somebody takes it the wrong way, that you like looking for opportunity, then that's on them, you know. But there's always people who are willing to help you. There's always people who could see your value and see what you bring to the table. And so like, don't let fear or your ego stop you from getting into those rooms.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Bianca, aka BB Bad, thank you very much for being on the show and making it all the way down to Eindhoven. I'm going to say from Los Angeles, California to Eindhoven.
Literally. On the NS app, like, oh gosh, don't miss your stop. Okay, I'm here.
You made it.
Thank you for having me. me.
So, well, where can they find you?
Oh, like on social media?
Yeah. Even though we're gonna have all the links below, but you just sound off the social medias.
You can find me on all platforms at bb_bad, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Yeah, follow me there.
All right, awesome. And with that, we're wrapping up. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Checking out this episode. If there was anything that I missed, any questions that I should have asked, because I know BB Bad has quite some fans, so I might get why you didn't ask this question?
They want the skincare routine.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, the truth is I don't have one, so
all right, guys. Well, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of the episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bless.